Good morning, students. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Kanika. Today in computer science, we are going to continue with the remaining part of our chapter 7 function from class 11th computer science book. So let's begin. Functions in Python part 3. So in the previous tutorials, we have learned what are functions, how you can use functions, what are arguments, what are parameters, and many more things. So now in this tutorial, we are going to study about mutable and immutable objects in Python. Everything in Python is an object, and every object in Python can either be mutable or immutable. So when we are talking of Python, we know that Python is an object-oriented language. We have discussed in previous tutorial what do you mean by object. So object is an instance of class. So what you can understand is that Python as a whole is a class, and everything which we are using inside a Python is an object. Python अपने आप में पूरी एक क्लास है और उसके अंदर हम जो भी चीज़ें यूज़ करें that is acting as an object, and those objects can be classified into two parts or into two types, that is mutable and immutable. Now what do you mean by immutable? Mutable means that can be changed and immutable means that can't be changed. Since everything in Python is an object, every variable holds an object instance. When an object is initiated, it is assigned a unique object ID. We have studied in previous tutorial also that every object is assigned an ID, and you can see the ID of that object by using the ID function. Its type is defined at runtime and one set can never be changed. However, its state can be changed only if it is mutable. Means a mutable object can be changed after it is created and an immutable object can't be changed. So here's a list of some mutable objects. So list, dictionary, set, byte, array. These are mutable objects which once declared can be changed. But here the immutable objects such as int, float, complex string, tuple, frozen set, bytes and boolean, they can't be changed once declared. They are immutable objects. Now here are certain exceptions. So what is an exception? For example, we know that tuple is a immutable object. Tuple is an immutable object, but tuple consists of sequence of name with unchangeable bindings to object. But tuples contain certain items. As you can see in this example, we have tuple, tup, and it contains a list as well as a string. As you know, a list is a mutable object, but my name, that is string, is an immutable object. So tuple as a whole is not immutable, but its object, but its part, that is a list, is mutable. So it's an exception. So tuple itself isn't mutable but contain items that are mutable. So it does not mean कि tuple immutable नहीं है. Okay? Tuple अपने आप में immutable है, but उसके अंदर जो हम पास कर रहे हैं values, objects जो उसके अंदर पास कर रहे हैं वो अपने characteristic hold करेंगे and tuple अपना characteristic hold करेगा. Okay? Next is there are two methods by which arguments can be passed. We have studied in previous tutorial that how you can pass the arguments to the function. Now there are two types for it. First is call by value, second is call by reference. Now let us try to understand it. For example, if I have a basket of mangoes and I have to give this basket of mangoes to a person XYZ. Okay, so there are two ways in which I give this basket to that person. First is I can call by value. That means I can give the mangoes, I pick the mangoes out from the basket and put that mangoes into the XYZ person basket. मैंने मतलब मैंगोज उठाए और जो XYZ पर्सन जिसको मुझे वो मैंगोज देना है उसकी बास्केट में डाल दिए. सेकेंड वे इज मैं उसको पूरा का पूरा ही मैंगोज अलॉन्ग विद बास्केट उस XYZ पर्सन को हैंड ओवर कर दूँ. So this is what happens in the case of coding. When we are passing any variable or any data type, basically variable, from a driver code, that is main code, to the function code. So there are two ways of giving that variable. First is call by value, that you only transfer the data. आप सिर्फ उसका जो डेटा है वो उसको देते हो और वो अपनी मेमोरी स्पेस में उस डेटा को स्टोर कर लेता है, वो अपनी अलग से मेमोरी स्पेस बनाता है. एंड कॉल बाय रेफरेंस मतलब आप उसको एड्रेस के समेत उस डेटा को, वेरिएबल को आप उसको सेंड करते हो, किसको, फंक्शन को. So this is call by value. In call by value, you just transfer the data. In this example, mangoes. And call by reference means you are transferring the data along with the address, that is along with the basket. So these are two methods of calling of passing the arguments in any programming language whatsoever you are using. But implementation of this passing of argument is different in different languages. So let us understand how this implementation works in Python. So in Python, we perform pass by reference. Now we have learned that some of the objects are some of the objects such as list, which can be changed, that is mutable. So it acts as a pass by reference. How? Let us see in this example. I have given n is equal to 50 and 60. This is n is a list, and then I printed id. So id is printed as 314229228. Then I call the function update list and pass this id as an argument, and there I add one more element. Before I have passed this, now again here I print the id of this list. So I have printed the id of this list. Again it is giving me the same id. Now next I have added one more element to the list, and again I am printing the id. So again it is showing me the same id address. Now my function is executed. Now I come back to my main function. Here I print n. So the value of list is now 50, 60 and 10. And again I print the id. It is same. That means all that changes are being performed only at the single address. एक ही एड्रेस पे जहाँ पे फर्स्ट टाइम वो आईडी सेव हुई थी, जहाँ वो फर्स्ट टाइम में स्टोर हुआ था, वहीं पे ही चेंजेस उसमें परफॉर्म किए गए अगर जब मैंने उसको फंक्शन में पास भी कर दिया. दैट मीन्स वी हैव पास द लिस्ट अलॉन्ग विद द एड्रेस, और जो चेंज हो रहे हैं उसी एड्रेस के अंदर हो रहे हैं, कोई भी कॉपी क्रिएट नहीं हो रही. दिस इज पास बाय रेफरेंस. In this function, list when an object is being passed and its contents are changing because it is mutable. It is mutable. That's why it is behaving like a pass by reference. It is behaving like a pass by reference. That means same ही address के अंदर हम list के अंदर modification कर रहे हैं, उसका कोई copy create नहीं हुआ है. So जब हम यहाँ पे अपने function को pass कर रहे हैं list, तो वहाँ पे कौन सी value pass हो रही है, हम उसको address एक तरीके से उसकी ID pass कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे. Okay. So here is another example of pass by reference. Here we have a list which is hi, how are you doing? Okay. So I have called the foo function and it is passing the value. Again now here what happens, a is 0, that is the first position of the list is being overwritten by nothing. So what do you think will happen? It will be changed because list is a mutable object and things can be changed. So still points to the object and continue. So the function is still pointing to the same object and continues to point the object during its execution. You can run this code and can check the ID of the bar at every different level like we have done here. So it will show same ID. Next come pass by value. In this we are doing the same thing. Instead of list we have taken integer. Integer we know is an immutable object. So when I print the ID, it is this. Again then I call the function and after calling the function id is printed. Again it is showing me the same id, but as soon as I change that object, that is integer, so and then I print the id, the address of that or the id of that integer is changed. Why it is changed? Because it is immutable and you cannot change the integer. So what it has done, it has changed the value and kept it into another आईडी. आप उस सेम आईडी में चेंज नहीं कर पा रहे हो, उसने चेंजेस तो करे हैं बट उसने दूसरी आईडी के अंदर उसको स्टोर करके रख दिया है. देन वी कम बैक टू आवर मेन कोड एंड प्रिंट द वैल्यू ऑफ बी. सो द वैल्यू इज 5 ओनली. ओके. सो ये जो आपने यहाँ पे प्रिंट n+10 करा था, ये सिर्फ इसी स्कोप में रहेगा, राइट. इम्यूटेबल है तो इसका स्कोप बाहर तक नहीं आएगा. तो जब मैं फंक्शन के बाहर आके दोबारा प्रिंट b करूँगी तो इट विल शो मी आंसर 5 बिकॉज string is integer is immutable and it cannot be changed. If you have change here, it will be limited to the scope of the function. So when you print b, it's again 5 and the id is same as the previous one, so it is unchanged. So in the value variable b, it is not being changed because it is immutable. That's why it is behaving as a pass by value. That means only value is passed. उसके एड्रेस पे कोई जो उसका ओरिजिनल आईडी था वहाँ पे कोई भी तरीके का चेंज नहीं हुआ है. वैल्यू 5 की 5 ही रह रही है. मैंने उसमें 10 प्लस करा तब भी. Here is another example. Here what we have done, we have assigned a value, old value to this string and then passed the value, and in A we have overwritten the value, that is new value. So when I print inside the function, the value of A will be new value, but when I come out of the function and then print the value of string, it will be again the old value. Why? Because string is immutable and the value which we have changed over here is local to this function. It is in the local variable or local scope. We have discussed about local and global variable in the previous tutorial. So please watch these tutorials in sequence and don't skip anything in between. Next is pass an array or list to the function. So we have seen here that we are passing a string to the function. String here is an argument and we are passing this argument to the function. Similarly, you can also pass array or list to the function. Here is an example. We have do something list in which we have 1, 2, 3 and do something is the name of the function and I have a list red, green and blue, and then I pass this list as an argument to this function and it will perform in the similar manner as it was doing previously. Note list is mutable data type, that's why it treats as pass by reference. It is already explained in topic, so we have already discussed why it is, how it is behaving, pass by reference or pass by value. Next is pass string to a function. Now you can pass a string to a function. We have seen in the previous example also. So, here R is a string variable and we can pass this string to the function and it can be used for the computation. Next we can also pass tuple to the function. So what we have done over here, we have designed a tuple R is equal to 3, 1 and we have passed this value to the function, that is 3 and 1 are passed, and if first is greater than second, that means we have assigned the value of my tuple in first and second. So first hold the value 3 and second hold the value 1. So if 3 is greater than 1, that is true, so return first. That means first value 3 will be returned and it will be present the out. 3 will be returned. So it will be returned to the main function and will be stored in M and that value will be printed and the output will be 3. So this is how you can pass a tuple to the function. Similarly, you can pass the dictionary in the function. Here I have defined a dictionary and passed it into the function, and then I can work as normally as I work with dictionary. By using a for loop, I can print the values and the keys of the dictionary. So function using library, system defined function. So there are basically two libraries which are predefined or built-in function. There are many built-in libraries in Python, but there are mainly two libraries which are mentioned in your syllabus. First is the mathematical functions. We have discussed this in the Python part 2 tutorial, and the next one is string function. They're specially mentioned in your syllabus. So let us see what is string functions. String functions are available in Python standard module. These are always available to use. For example, capitalize. Now what is a function of what does a capitalize do? It converts the first letter of string to uppercase. As you can see here, I love programming. R is equal to S dot capitalize. So for this you have to import the string library. Okay. After importing the string library, you can use that function capitalize and you can see the output, the first letter, that is I, is getting capitaled. So here you can see there are many string functions, so you go through them and try to understand what they are doing. So as you can see, ends with. So ends with function does return true value of the string end with a specified value. For example, in this, if I want to check end with function, so if I put s dot ends with, and in this I write g. So if g is ending with g, so it will return me value true, and if it is not, so if r is printed, then it will give me output as true. So center, it is used for returning a centered string. Index, search the string for a specified value. If I want to search what is the letter which is present on the 4th index or 5th index, so I can use that. Similarly is numeric, that means it returns true if all the characters in the strings are numeric. That means on a number. It is used for is used to lower the case, and these are very simple. Just go through them, all of these functions. You should know what these functions perform. For example, split lines. So what is the split performs? It splits the string at the specified separator and returns a result. So you can split the string. For example, I love programming and I want to split it, so I can use that function. Title, upper, etc., and many more things are there. Just go through them. These are very, very important, and try to run them, try to understand them, And if you have any doubt in any of the function, you can ask me, because there are so many, I can't discuss each and every one with you. So you better go through them on your own and ask me whichsoever it is not understood by you. So now let us see a quick implementation, how you can implement a function on an IDL. So I have written this code on my Python IDLE. It's a function, predefined function, where a is a new value and print inside a function, and string old value. So what I do, there is a string old value and I print before function, then I call the foo function by passing the value that is string, that is old value. So string that is old value is passed to a. Now we have overwritten the value a new value and print a. So then after printing the value of a, it will return the result. So let us see how this program will run. So you can see here, before function call is printed, then inside function a new value is printed, and then the controls come out of the function and string is printed, that is old value. So this is very simple how you can implement function on Python. Just like all other code you have done, it is similarly, in the similar manner you can run functions also on the Python. So this was all about functions. With this we have completed our topic functions, and please go through this topic. It is a very important topic from your syllabus and many questions can be asked. So please go through this topic in great detail, and if you have any doubt, feel free to ask me. You can comment your doubts in the comment box below, or you can directly ask me your doubts in the doubt session. Thank you.